Since the dawn of time, rules were placed in this world in order to make people think the way they think, act the way they act, be the way they are, and regulate what needs to be regulated. These laws, they remain simple, yet well and universally known, as they're just the ones we deal with and face every single day. Do not steal, as you will end up in prison. Do not give in to peer pressure, as you will become a drug addict. Do not eat Tide Pods, as ingesting the poison will most likely kill you. And do not buy that $2,000 cinema camera when your only past experience in filmmaking up to this point has been that one mini documentary you shot on an iPad 2 years ago and those 3 obscure commentary videos you posted on your inconsistent YouTube channel.
Alright, looks like we're ready for your GK magic.
What? Bro, I haven't made a video in months. What are you doing? Fucking turn the camera off, dude.
You know, I don't think it's that big of a deal. This type of stuff, it takes time. You know, practice your shit and you just kind of progress. Slowly but surely. You know, kind of like an underdog. Yeah, you know, you work with what you have for the first couple of years, learn the basics, like the bare bone basics. Composition, lighting, and you use the shitty camera, right? But at least when you show people your shit, you know your shit, even though you shot with shit. It's really about learning your shit and really knowing it. And maybe when there's no more room for improvement, then you can upgrade to that nice camera that you've been wanting. But until then, it's really just working with what you have. You get what I mean, right? Why are you looking at me like that? You bought the camera, didn't you?
I already bought the camera. Everybody likes nice things. Some people more than others. Some people spend their whole entire paycheck as soon as they get it, and then they wonder how come no more color on their bank account. Some rarely spend any of their money, you know? 20% goes to savings and the rest stays with them until they need it for food and necessities. The responsible adults of our generation that we hate because they're better than us. The kind to set a goal and reach that lovely goal over time. Then they can go splurge and buy that nice thing that they've really been waiting for. Saving for something that's worth it for them day after day and finally buying that shit. Repeating the cycle again. It's a pretty admirable saving and spending plan that everybody can use. Not just when they're young, but literally throughout their whole entire life, stably, hopefully. I was never one of those people. Well, at least not at the beginning. Ambition at the start of a successful life, from what I've seen, operates on hunger. When you're first starting out, that's when you're the most hungry for shit. It's the kind of hunger that makes you grind, no stop, until you learn how to get better and master that skill that you have. That hunger, that underdog mentality that every aspiring artist in the world has is fucking unmatched, and we need it to be that way because we know where we want to be and we legit won't. We can't settle for less. But what happens when you're not like that? What if you did something or thought you did something to stunt your growth accidentally? What exactly happened in your past to make you so insecure to the point where you now just can't even move on or even think about initiating in that art that you claim to love unless someone damn near forces you to do so, whether it's for money or for family? When you're so uncomfortable in your ability to just go out and do that thing that you just end up paralyzing yourself for months, years. Because whatever happened to make you do that shit, I'm sorry, it's irreversible. But normal people, the artists who don't make it, don't go through that G.A.S shit, just want you to know. It's over, buddy. You're fucking defected. Ew, ew, ew. You stink of no success and you're gross. Ew, ew. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like that too. Or at least I was. And when I tell you I never want to let that past hold me back from my shit, I mean it. Never again. And to get to the point that I'm at now, I really just had to admit, just like you have to admit to yourself, and accept the simple fact that your past sucks ass.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club.
Life in the freelance filmmaking and videography realm is kind of like sport. You start all the way in at the beginning, trapped with nothing but the only two shoes on your feet and the monocle that you got. But you take that abilities that you do know, that you do have right now. You do more shit that people haven't seen before. You make more short films, you make more videos, you learn your mic, your lavaliers, how to set everything up. You get one story, tell them. Hey, just don't be mad if at the beginning it turns out a little ugly as fuck and not like you wanted it to. It's crazy as shit, because when I graduated high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. And I didn't have to either, but I did. I felt like it was my duty to know what I was put on this earth to do. And I just kept thinking, the earlier I could do something about it, and the earlier I could blow up. So I guess it explains how when I ended up making my first short film 2 years ago off of a rented iPad and some old DSLR footage for my summer school entry film class, seeing it screen at a real film festival's official student showcase event, there was just something about it that clicked, you know? Purpose. I think that's when it became my purpose. I started to think, what if I can do this on a big scale with real films like people are looking at now, real eyes, real attention on that shit? What if I could make my own stories that could push me forward, push my culture forward, push all of us forward towards something that we've never done before, and tell our collective stories, shit that people haven't heard before. I started to think all these things and I was getting these ideas, and the power that came from it, I tried to just take it and run. And I wanted to show everybody all throughout my next film, or by creating some sort of YouTube channel where I could just bitch about my problems all day as long as I make you laugh. But the problem wasn't that I wasn't coming up with enough shit to pursue. It turned out to be the opposite. I had all these dope, huge ass ideas, but the ideas kept getting huger in scale, and what I thought I had to owe to the world right away at that point in time reflected. But like at that point, I haven't even touched the camera since I made that mini doc, and I was telling myself, oh yeah, I'm gonna go make a movie, I'm gonna go to Hollywood, I'm gonna do all this shit, and I need to become a millionaire right now, or else I'm nothing. Expectations were set so high through the roof, but like, come on, bro, I didn't even know what an exposure triangle was. So instead of shooting and doing all that extra shit, all the hard work, right? Because it's scary. Like being out in public right now is scary, and shooting this shit, but who gives a fuck? Since I didn't know how to do any of that, I just got scared. So I spent more time writing concepts about what I wanted my videos to be about instead. But after I made it, those thoughts only came back. So I'm like, I need a new camera. I need something besides my iPhone that I have now. I said I needed a real camera. Spending the next days on months just looking at so many base cameras, it's not even funny, bro. Spending like 20 hours on Amazon at a time, and not even including the lens on that shit. That was average like $2,000 for a base camera. Oh my God, bro. Wait, maybe this one's the best. Fuck, this one's the best, bro. This one can shoot in low light and wash my ass and feed my cats all at the same time. Oh my God, wait a minute. I don't have any money. Lights, I need lavaliers, C-stands. Shit, how are you gonna hold your light? It just wouldn't stop. That little fucking voice you hear in your head that tells you you need more gear before you can even start making. Yeah, it's a little something called gear acquisition syndrome. Gear acquisition rules the anxious. I cannot stress that enough. Like your impulse buying gear left and right because you don't know how any of this shit works. It'll waste your money. It usually does waste your time. Like when you gotta return that gear that you impulse bought, you didn't need it until it's shipped in person, and you're like, fuck, now it's just sitting on my shelf and I don't know what the hell to do with this thing. I've never used it before. And I really want to tell you how I got over it. But first, a word from our sponsor, Manscaped. When you're looking for that gear that you don't even know how it works, but you think that it'll make you better because you don't know how to use the camera that well yet, or if you're looking for a new camera just by itself and you only base what you want on, which one is the most powerful regardless of cost. That learning curve that comes with it, and just the many things that come with having all this new equipment, it's almost like it's too much. And it stunts your growth literally and easily. Or it at least stunts your relationship with yourself and how much you believe in doing your work without all that fancy gear. And if you can work with it correctly. It's a real reality check when you use your new $2,000 cinema camera with the dual ND Promus filter, camera rig, and your Ronin stabilizer and all that fancy shit, and you go, shit, I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing with any of this. Like, hey, genius, you realize yet that your filmmaking skills and your habits just aren't as developed as you think they are yet, and that expensive camera that you bought won't fix that? Maybe it will. Fuck it, who am I? I'm not the filmmaker out here at Target right now filming a fucking video on how to shoot, right? I had this exact reality check just a few weeks ago. I was shooting for this company that I was working for on a workshop tutorial about lei hulu, which is a type of Hawaiian lei that usually goes on top of somebody's papale or hat. But in this instance, it was used as a bracelet for, adornment and things like that. And I thought as long as I kept the camera in focus, made sure it looked pretty when the light hits the subject's face, I'd be chilling, easy money. Oh boy, I was fucking wrong. A helping hand, my friend and my mentor who worked with me to help me get a shot list developed and things like that for the job, gave me a whole list of feedback afterward. And after I thought that I got everything right and I was chilling, he told me exactly what I got wrong and what I needed to work on right then and there. 1. You could see the ring light in the background reflection. The ISO was way low. On the parts where the viewer needed to see the subject's hands and tools close up so they could follow along, the camera was placed all the way up and all the way down to the point where you just couldn't see it. How could I miss that? Not enough over-the-shoulder shots. Lastly, but probably the most important, overshoot. Working with this in post in my edit, some parts I had to reuse the same shot later because I literally didn't have enough footage. I started applying those same rules to my next videos and oh my god, next shoot it made everything better. But I only learned that because I messed up. The real question is, why did it take me to mess up a legitimate shoot to just learn what I could have learned earlier?
You are talking about regrets, so if you want to ask about regrets, just ask about regrets and leave all this time-traveling nonsense out of it.
Okay, regrets, then.
Regrets?
Yeah.
I harp on this a lot, on wishing that you could have done more, on regrets. I wish I did more of my YouTube videos last year when times and scenarios in my life were different. But again, that is life. Something happens, or it doesn't happen at that point. And now, right now, you are in the now. You are not your past. You are not your future. You are only you right now. Who's to say that I would be less stuck and more happier than I am right now if I had made all of those videos last year that I wished for, just the way that I wanted? Does accomplishing any of that really make you less lonely? Less anxious? Less depressed? There's just too much to life that's more than film. And at some point, I just had to learn that I can't place all my value into who I am as a filmmaker to justify who I am as me. You know, with life being such a fucking cunt ass, hoe ass, stupid ass, fucky ass bitch sometimes, and for you to take that first step besides everything, what if that new camera, what if it does make it just a little bit easier for you? What if it is just a beginner camera that you really did your research on, that is for a beginner, but it really just does have a pretty big price tag on it? Maybe it's that thing that becomes the gateway to letting you know how to feel comfortable in your own skin by using it over and over again. I still have to learn exactly what I'm doing here on this earth, just as much as you have to. So, if that new piece of gear makes you happy, yeah, you can be happy. Just don't let that investment go to waste. Getting that camera, funny enough, it's kind of like starting a new life. It's so confusing at first, but the more you get the hang of it, the easier it gets to deal with. And yeah, I could definitely respect that. Sometimes the old ways that you try to deal with something new, they don't work anymore. They're called the old ways for a reason. So when that day comes, start anew. Get rid of the old ways that you were taught or taught yourself how to do that shit. Fuck it, that's what I am doing literally right now. For right now, I'm directed by G.A.S. But at the tail end of 19, I'm just trying to learn who the real Grayson is starting to be.